solutions.com. We might start today's training. So, start our session, HCM session. So, I will give you a basic agenda of what we are going to do today. Okay, so this is an HCM functional training. We will discuss about in detail what we are going to start with, like the introduction about PeopleSoft and what lies ahead in PeopleSoft for the next 10 years or so. And we will be discussing about the future plans of whatever Oracle is planned for PeopleSoft, and we'll discuss about the internet architecture, and then we'll start with the basic HCM concepts, and I'll show you a brief demo of the PeopleSoft HCM product. Okay, so what is PeopleSoft? PeopleSoft is an integrated software package. It provides a lot of business applications like HCM, human resource capital management, e-learning management system, its supply chain management system, or CRM, SCM management system. So they have a lot of wide variety of products, and based on your business needs, you may implement one of these products in your organization. So you can use, like, if your organization requires your HCM product and e-learning product, or HCM and CRM product, so you can individually choose the products based on your business demands, and then you can tightly integrate it, both the systems also. So PeopleSoft is also providing an interaction hub to have a unified navigation instead of having separate navigations for both HCM or ELM, HCM and HCM products. So basically, it's a software package. It has a rich functionality, and I would say its competitors are nowhere close in terms of the functionality that PeopleSoft is offering, and that's why it's still the market leader. A brief history about PeopleSoft. It was founded in 1987 by David Duffield and Ken Morris. In 2005, it was acquired by Oracle, and now the PeopleSoft name and product line are marketed by Oracle. Okay, you may ask why PeopleSoft and why not other ERP products. PeopleSoft, as I said, it has a rich set of functionality. It's so functionally powerful, and it's giving regular updates. Even any changes to the tax principles or something, it is rolling out frequent updates, and that's why it's still the market leader. So the functionality wise, it's still the powerful and still the best in the market, and it can easily adapt to your changing workforce. So any changes in your organization, let's say you are going to acquire a new company, or you're going to merge two companies into a single company, or merge two business units into a single business unit, or you're going to move the employees from a particular location to another. So you can address all these business functionalities in your PeopleSoft system, that too with ease. And okay, one particular company that people were giving about PeopleSoft is, like, it's not so so easy to use. Its UI is not so good. So since 2014, PeopleSoft has also started working on this user interface part. Now they have completely they have offered a new solution called Fluid User Interface. If you're not aware, so this Fluid user interface is like, it's a new way of using the system. The user interface part, like, it's also supported in various form factors. Like, you can use it on a laptop, you can use it on a tab, or you can use it on a mobile device. So based on your screen size, the form factor is going to change its look and feel to support, even the controls are going to change based on your form factor. So this kind of new innovations PeopleSoft, Oracle is working on. Also, it's PeopleSoft has also moved to the cloud. If you recently, like 2014, they started to use software as a service. So it's also encouraging its customers to move to the cloud, and before this, like creating instances were real trouble. So if you have to create a new instance, it takes hours or even days sometimes. But now, with the introduction of Cloud Manager, you can create a new instances less than an hour, I would say. So these kind of new features that PeopleSoft is working on. So in addition to that, the functionality which I already said, its competitors are nowhere close matching to the functionalities that PeopleSoft is offering. And also the diverse set of products that is offering, like HCM or e-learning system, or supply chain management, whatever. So its competitors do not have this kind of diverse products as well. So that's why Oracle is still continuously investing on PeopleSoft, and PeopleSoft is here to stay for the next, I would say, like for the next 30-35 years. So talking about the user interface part, like this fluid user interface, the latest addition to the PeopleSoft, like with tools version 8.54, PeopleSoft introduces fluid user interface. In application version 9.2, you can start using it. However, you can, if you are still in 9.1 and you're in 8.54 and about tools, you can still use the fluid tools. But the thing is, like, you have to build in all your two pages and all on your own, so you cannot use the delivered tools functionality as well. So if you want to use fluid interface, we recommend to go to the latest, that is 9.2 version, and the tools version that is launched latest is 8.56. But from 8.54 you can start using fluid user interface. So talking about the deployment part, I said already discussed about the Cloud Manager. So with the introduction of Cloud Manager, the maintenance and the deployment part also becomes more simpler. So we talked about this mobile capabilities. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, PeopleSoft Update Manager. So this is the latest update, latest innovation that PeopleSoft has offered. Like before this, how upgrades happen is like we have to wait for 2 or 3 years for a major release. Like 9.0 to 9.1, we had to wait for 3 years, and then 9.1 to 9.2, we had to wait for another 3+ years. So this is how major updates happen in PeopleSoft, prior to 9.2. So now the PeopleSoft, with the introduction of PeopleSoft Update Manager, that is PUM, there is no need to wait for so long to, if there is a new feature that is available, PeopleSoft is instantly giving it, and you can, pull in that new feature using this PeopleSoft Update Manager. So talking about PUM, the main advantage is that you need not wait for a long time to start using the new features. So if PeopleSoft is making ready a new feature, and it is already available to use, you can just start pulling in that particular change alone, and then you can start using it in. So let's say you have, with the PeopleSoft Update Image 24, we have a new change called Page and Field Composer. No, sorry, Page and Field Configurator. So that is like, you can modify all the attributes in your PeopleSoft page. Like you want to change your PeopleSoft page, or PeopleSoft page field, or you want to change its length or something like that. You can modify it on your front end itself. Like you need not go to the tools, that is the application designer, and then modify your PeopleSoft labels and then wait for the next release. So it's not like that. So once you have that page and field configurator pulled in, you can readily make the changes on the fly, like any label changes or the alignment changes. So these kind of new features keep coming up in the PeopleSoft, and all you need to do is just pull in that particular change and then start using it. So that's why the concept of selective adoption, comes in handy. So like this selective adoption is like, let's say you're not using some particular feature, something like you're not using your base benefits or your payroll, you are just using your system for recruitment or e-performance or compensation. So you want to pull in that particular change alone, whatever the latest features that are available, you want to pull in that particular change alone. So you can use the selective adoption and then import that particular change into your PeopleSoft. Talking about the pivot grid, so PeopleSoft is working a lot on its analytics part. So as many users complaining that its competitors are using a lot of user interface elements like your bar charts or a pie chart, some kind of an analytic tool to track something that could be useful for its managers or administrators, let's say to track the performance data or to track the number of job openings that is available or pending for approval. So these kind of things, complaints kept coming up. So that's why, since we have this pivot grids concept since 9.2, 8.54, I guess, yeah. So this analytics features, this is also adding a lot of value add to the PeopleSoft system. So looking at the personalized work center, so managers can they have their own dashboards. They can have their own recruiting dashboard or e-performance dashboard. These kind of new features that are coming up in PeopleSoft is adding a lot of value add, and it's pulling in a lot of new customers as well. So this is a brief in history and the future of PeopleSoft. I said it was introduced in 1987, and then 1988 is the first product that was launched, that is HCM. And then in 1992, PeopleSoft Financials was launched. And then 95, Supply Chain Management. And in 97, ELM, Enterprise Learning Management, was launched. In 2000 was the first time when this Internet architecture was launched. So we'll be discussing about the Internet architecture in brief for some 5-10 minutes in the next slide. And then PeopleSoft acquired JD Edwards was acquired, and then in 2005, Oracle acquired PeopleSoft. So from this point onwards, there's a lot of innovations that are happening, especially with the introduction of FluidUI in 2014, and then Cloud Manager in 2017. And from 2017, PeopleSoft is regularly releasing its updated images every quarter. So at least you'll get 4 update images in every year, and then PeopleTools update image comes in like every 1 or 1.5 year. They are planning to release tools version with a lot of new features. So currently PeopleSoft has promised to support up to 2027. So it's just a number. It doesn't mean that it's going to end at 2027. It's saying that we are going to support till 2027. It's encouraging its customers to go current and stay current, use the latest features available. There are a lot, giving a lot of new innovations, like they are giving innovator awards. They're having a new PeopleSoft idea spaces, idea forums. They're getting feedback from customers, whatever new features that can be implemented, and then they are implementing it. They are regularly releasing it in their quarterly update images. So talking about the internet architecture, so it's like a client-server architecture. Basically, like you can assume this is your client side, your web browser, or your mobile, or your external system. So this is your client side, and this is completely the server side. So your server side can again be divided into your web server, your application server, or your database server. So any incoming request that is coming from your client, that is, it can be your browser, your Chrome, Firefox, IE, or it can be your mobile. So all the incoming requests are handled by the HTTP request response protocol. So any HTTP message that comes in is routed to your web server. So web server then processes the request. It sees what kind of request it is. It might be a simple, query request. You want a data of an employee. You want to see the job data of an employee, or something like very simple information. So this web server just processes that incoming request and then sends to a application server. This application server then routes it to the appropriate service process. It can be a query processor or any kind of an application engine that you're trying to run. So it routes to the appropriate service process, and then this application server in turn connects with your database server. So they just communicate through SQL messages. any request that you want, it will be converted to a simple SQL message. So it issues a SQL statement to the database, and then database, what it does is it returns the result back to the application server. So this kind of communication happens between application server and database server, and then application server and then web server communicates through Jolt messages. So they are connected through a particular Jolt port. So if you are giving an incoming request to your PeopleSoft system, it is assigned to a single port, so you can start communicating through that single port. Okay, so the response is relayed back to the web server. I mean your web browser or your mobile browser, whatever. So this is a basic architecture of your PeopleSoft. So you can see it's easy to access, so there is no need of any complexity. If you are a client, you don't need to install any software package on your system. Just you can access the PeopleSoft through a URL. That is the benefit of it. So it's platform independent. You can access in any one of your Windows or Linux, whatever. So the look and feel, as I was saying, PeopleSoft is focusing a lot in look and feel, user interface part. It's investing a lot in R&D and stuff. So content management, so everything is separate here. Your database is separate, your application server is separate. So, and the thing is, like, you can have multiple application server tied to your database server. So something goes wrong, so it's always going to be up. And for the purpose of scalability, you can have multiple application server, as I said. Okay, so now that we have a brief idea of what is PeopleSoft is and what lies ahead in PeopleSoft, and you already seen about the architecture of PeopleSoft, let's look into the HCM concepts. So HCM, Human Capital Management, or you can say Human Resource Management System. So what are the key concepts that are available in HCM? Okay, so let's go to the session plan, what we have in mind, and then I'll come back to this. So this is today's session. We are going to just discuss about the brief introduction of the HCM, what HCM is, what all concepts that are there in HCM, and then we are going to discuss about the core tables and the underlying concept of effective dating. So if you're not used to this effective dating concepts, this is one of the very powerful concept that is available in PeopleSoft to track your historical records. You can have all your history records of your employees by this concept of effective date, so that nothing gets missed out. So you'll be discussing about the control tables, reporting tables, and some of the key concepts of HRMS, that is set ID, business unit, table set sharing, department, company, job code, location, rate. So first, we'll be initially focusing on how to set up your HRMS system, and then we'll be moving to the core HR part. That is how to hire a person into the PeopleSoft system, how do you hire a person into your organization, and pulling in his personal data, and then creating an employee ID, and how to assign roles to him, and how to create user profile for him. How does he access the system, and how does he navigate to the system, and what are the menus available to him. Then we'll be discussing about the recruitment business process flows. So recruiting is right from how to hire an employee, and to the screening process, selection process, and then taking him to the offer, and then providing him the offer. So that includes all the background check, your verifications and medical check, whatever you want. So the offer management process. So maintaining a user's job data, how data flows to the job data component. We'll be discussing about his salary plan, compensation plan, and what are the company, department, location, what is available under. So all those things we'll be discussing. We'll also discuss about the how to create a job opening in your system, and how does user apply to this job opening, and how the selection process happens, and preparing him for hire. So these kind of things we'll be discussing. And then we have planned to discuss about the e-performance. So performance management system, that is how does employee enters his goals, KRAs, and how does supervisor comes in and evaluate his KRAs goals. How does supervisor gives us feedback or sends a document back to employee for evaluation, or you can add additional layer of something like a midpoint review, and then based on the midpoint review you can give your final review. So you can insert any number of additional supervisors that are required. These kind of things we'll be discussing. And we have a concept of profile management, creating person and non-person profiles in your system. And we have a concept of position management. So we'll be discussing about PeopleSoft security and other setup which have whatever which we have ignored, we'll be discussing. So, and the basic self-service transactions, that is employee self-service and manager self-service. So this is a session plan we have in mind. So we have a wide variety of concepts to be covered. So I'll show you kind of brief demo on how this works. So yeah, the application version which I'm using is 9.2, and the update image which I'm on is the latest one, from image 25. So that is the latest so far. And then I'm on tools version 8.56. Again, that is the latest tools version that is released very recently on last December 2017. Okay, I'll show you the demo of this HCM system. So I'm going to just cover the brief, basic introduction. I'm not going in depth into the concepts. So I'm logging in, and there's the fluidism phase part which I was talking about. Yeah, so you have the home page, and then you have these kind of tiles. So you can go to any of these, navigations. If you want to check the approvals part, you can just click on this approval tiles, and then it'll list down the available approvals for your review. This thing looks great on your tab or your mobile device. So if you're traveling on a train, or if you're in some meeting and you want to approve something very important urgently, you just open your mobile, tap on the approvals, and then open the approval part, and then click on approve. So you can either approve, deny, or pushback. You can give in your comments. So these kind of flexibilities are available. Okay, so this is your HCM homepage. If you can navigate through other components like employee self-service, you want to view your payslip, or you want to check your payroll, you want to edit your personal details, so you can navigate through one of these. So if you want to enter your personal details, you can just click on personal details tab, and then okay, let's wait for the page to get loaded. Yeah, so as you see here, so here you can view your address details, your contact details, marital status, name details. So you can configure whatever phone type or email type you want. So everything is configurable here. And then whenever you want to add a new number, you can just click on this plus button, and then you can start adding here. Okay. Let me show you this view in a mobile as well. Okay, this is how your login screen looks on your mobile device. Yeah, so this is how the home page looks on a mobile device. As you see there, the tiles were like were screened when you change to your mobile view. So if your device, you can change it to tablet, so the tiles are adjust to your based on your screen resolution accordingly. So that is flexibility that is available in your fluid user interface. So let me go to employee self-service and then personal details tab. Sorry, personal details style. So as you see, the page gets aligned based on your screen resolution. And as you see, the navigation bar on the left is now disappeared. If you want to enable it, you can just click on this nav bar icon. The nav bar itself shrinks to the left, and then since it's a mobile device, you can pull just swipe in out, swipe it in. So you want to navigate to some other state. Let's say you want to go to contact details. So you can see this is available readily. Yeah, so you can add a new email address if you want. So for doing such a simple transaction, you need not log into your system. You want to update your personal details, just open your mobile and tap on the necessary tile, and then you can add new personal details. Okay, let's switch back to desktop mode. Yeah, we need to sign out and sign in for the changes to make effect. Yes. So yeah, so this is the performance management records. So I'm going under manager self-service and then team performance. I can see the list of performance documents that are available for my review. So these are my subordinates who are reporting to me, and then I can view their performance document. So we have this kind of activity guides that are very easy for users to navigate. So they need not go to separate pages every time. They can navigate to any part of the performance document. Like if you want to view the work plan stage, you can just click on this view, and then you'll get a view here. So whatever you enter at the work plan stage, you can check it over here. What are the competencies and the goals that you have entered? So this is the checkpoint midpoint review stage, which I was talking about. And then if you want, you can add your additional supervisors that you worked under during this performance period. So this kind of the performance thing that we're talking about. So if you look at the toolbar available at the top, you have this home page, and then this is the global search. You can search for anything here, or you can select the category. Like if you want looking for a job posting, then select the job posting and then just put the job opening number, and then it's going to display the particular job opening. Or if you want to check for your career plan, performance plan, whatever, so you can default it to all, and then just put your job opening ID, and your results will be displayed just like how it is displayed on your Google search page. So these kind of things that PeopleSoft has already worked on. So this is the notification bar. So any new approvals that is pending for your notification, any new approvals that is pending on your area, that will be displayed here. So alerts, you can set it. So earlier this was like an hamburger menu. Now they have changed to 3 dots. That just means that more options. So these are the additional options that you have. So if you want to add this to the home page, you can just click on add to home page. So that will be available, readily available. Or if you want to add to the navigation bar, you can add it there. Or you can add it to your favorites so that you can easily navigate through easily, and then you can set your own preferences. So these are the preferences that are available. You can set in your date, time, the notification preferences. I'm talking about the nav bar. So here is the nav bar. PeopleSoft has changed its nav bar. Earlier it used to be something like this, a breadcrumb navigation. Now they have moved it here. So this is a navigator. So self-service, you can navigate to self-service. You can view your benefits here. This is a manage self-service, the recruiting menu. Or if you do not like this view, you can just simply go back to classic home by clicking here. So this is how it was earlier. So you can modify your home page based on that. Okay, so coming back to the HCM concepts. So as I was discussing about the main concepts, like let me start with hiring a person. That is going to be the basic thing, right? So you want to add a new person into the system. I will show you how to add that. That you go to workforce administration. Yeah, workforce administration, personal information, and then add a person. So now I'm going to add a new person into our PeopleSoft system. So you can leave this as new and then click on add a person. So the system itself generates an auto number. Okay, now we have this page, right, where you have to enter your person's basic details like name, date of birth, or SSN number. So I'm going to add a new person. Let's add Dinesh Ram. Click on refresh name so I can see the name format here. I'll enter his date of birth. Birth country. So you can see this is the prompt record if you're not aware. So you can search based on your country or description. So you can just select it, or you can, if you're aware of the country code already, you can just simply type in here. Okay, so here you can enter your biographical history like his gender and highest education level. It can be higher, some college, technical school, graduate or equivalent, or doctorate, masters. So I'm entering bachelor's level degree. So this is marital status. So for USA, you need to enter this SSN. Yeah. Let's go to the contact information tab. So this is where you enter the address details and the phone number details of the employee. So I'm going to add a new address. Yeah, add address detail. This is the home address. This is status, that is active or inactive. So if you change to a new address, you can just make it inactive. Just mention some test address. test. And then I click on OK. So I've added a home address for him. So there are a lot of address types that are available. So you can configure any new address, additional address type that is required for your organization as well. Okay, so I'm really, for now I'm just adding one address here. This is the various type of phone numbers that are available, so you can have it. So we have regional based settings as well. So this comes up from the installation table. Since this is a demo instance, like we have all these countries showing up, so you can configure what all the countries you are going to implement. So only those particular countries will be coming in here. Since this is a demo instance, all these countries are coming in. So we have, regional specific status as well. So in Australia, you might have to mention your ethnic group or religion, something like that. So for US or Canada, they might have their separate like regional base setting. So I'm skipping this. Okay, once you have added all the basic details of the employee, you have to specify his organizational relationship with the employee. An employee can either be an full-time employee or a part-time employee. He might be a contractor or just a POI kind of. So I'm choosing the org type as employee and I'm clicking on save. This is just a warning message that SSN should be present for US employees. So once I click on save, you can see the person ID will change from new to a new person ID is generated for this employee. So it's 0003. So I was talking about the effective dating concept, right? So if there is any change that is going to happen to his personal details, you can just click on this plus button and you can see there one more row is added. So it's saying 1 of 2, and you can make a new effective date. So if these changes are effective from tomorrow, and he is going to change some name or change to marital status, so you can just add one more row and then change this particular information. So this way you can keep track of historical records. All the history records will not be lost. So your component can be registered in one of these modes, like add, update, add by default, update display, include history or correct history. So if you want to have a look at all the history records, you can just click on include history and check all the historical records of that employee. If you want to make any corrections to the historical records, you can go in correct history mode. Okay, but I'm just leaving it as such now. I'm not going to add them. So this is a person ID. Okay, so now to check for this employee, you have to go to modify a person. Okay, if you want to make any changes to the employee, you have to select this correct history. But we're not going to make any changes, so we just click on search and this employee will be opened. So Dinesh Ram, as you see, these are defaulted. To add organization relationship, you should have clicked that add organization relationship button, or you can just go back now to workforce admin, job information, and then job data. So here I'm searching for that particular employee. So these are populated by default, like whatever the default values are available. So so in job data, we have this 5 different tabs like work location, job information, and then the payroll, salary plan, and then the compensation tab. As you see for this employee, this employee, we can add a new action, like if he's a contingent worker, we can add as contingent. Okay. If you want to edit anything, I'm just going to correct history mode. So if you want to make it a higher action, I'll make it as higher. I'm saying not valid for employees. Okay, I think this employee is already available in the system. Oh. Okay, so these are the various actions that are available. So if you want to add him as a contingent worker, or if you want to hire, you want to add a new assignment row, you want to demote him, or kind of lay off. So these are the various actions that are available by delivered. So you can add your own actions also if you want. That is also configurable based on your business demand. You can add your own action and action reason. So you can mention if it is a primary job or secondary job, and as you see, his HR status is active. So if he's tied to, this employee is tied to any position, you can map that particular position number here. You can click on the position number prompt and then select what position he is in currently. So yeah, since I'm not in correct history mode, I'm not able to change the historical records. So you can see he's in company, this company, and then the business unit is mentioned as some GF001, the department. So this is the department. So these are the basic HRMS concepts, like set ID, department, or company. So you can think of company as a legal entity in your organization, and then department can be like kind of a finance can be a department, and information technology can be department. So based on your functional area, you can segregate your department. So again, location, what a location is, so which location your company is there, and then business unit. So talking about business unit, business unit is like okay, business unit, it's kind of, there is no definition as such. It's a kind of a flexible structuring device. So you can group your business units based on your organization demands. So let's say you are a banking company, you want to group business unit based on your branch, right? So you have a branch in Mumbai, you have a branch in Delhi. So you can have that particular branch as your business unit. Let's say you are into some you are into multiple fields, like you are also taking care of healthcare, you are into retail industry. So such kind of things, like you can group based on your functional area. Like you can have a separate business unit for healthcare, you can have a separate business unit for retail, you can have a separate business unit for manufacturing. So that is a advantage of this PeopleSoft business unit. So it can be flexible, it can be configured based on your company, based on your business demands. So because each client will have their own business model. So somebody will think of having it as a separate BU for IT, a separate BU for finance. So kind of they can also have a combination of this. Like you can have business units across location, you can have business units across functional areas. So it all depends on how you configure it, and to avoid these kind of redundant data control. Like if you are having a BU for location and a BU for a functional area, then you need not maintain separate data for each business unit. That's where table set comes in handy. So let's say I'm an employee of your organization and I'm part of this Asia Pacific region, and which has its own business unit, and then I'm also part of the department information technology. So that is also part of the different business unit. So I'm coming in part of two business units, that is Asia Pacific region and then as well as the IT department. So if a super user has access to both these business units, so he should be able to access my data, and that should be like only one row of data in the database. It should not be redundant. So this table set concept, deals with that, like having like less redundant data, as well as like sharing the data across views. So we'll be discussing how to configure these things in detail in the upcoming sessions. As for now, like, you can think of BU as a structuring device according to your business, and then table set, it used to share row of data across single business unit or multiple business unit. So what you can say is like, we have this concept of row level security as well that is coming up. So we'll be discussing that as well. So to share data across views, to share data across the or to restrict data. So if I'm part of some BU and I should not be accessed by the admin of some other BU. So these kind of things that can be addressed by the table sets. So this record groups that is going to help in the table set sharing concept. So you can group all the related records like company, department, location as part of record groups, and then that can be mapped with the tables. So we'll be discussing in detail on how to do all these mappings in the upcoming sessions. So I said this is like so every employee that he has to be tied to a company, a business unit, a department, a location. So here you can see the various job information, like what job code he's in. He's a data analyst, and what is his employee class, if he's a regular or temporary employee, any shift basis. So this is specific to the regions, and all the payroll data are mapped in here. Salary, which salary step grade is in, which salary step he is in. So all these things you can. Okay. So all these things are configurable: the salary admin plan, the grade, and the step. So there's a compensation tab, like what all he'll be getting. So since there is nothing configured here, so that's why we don't get anything here. So you can configure all the basic. Okay, these rate codes are not configured. So you can configure all the basic HRA, all the allowances, whatever you want. So you can select the currency code as well. So yeah, so this way we can set up the employee personal data and his job data. So if he's going to get a new additional assignment, you can, since he's a non-employee, he's not able to add as an additional assignment. So if he's an employee, you can add an additional assignment row, or if he's going on leave or returning from leave, you can add any complete set of data that this employee has to go through. That's where this PeopleSoft effective rate concept comes in handy. So talking about the setup tables, we'll quickly check where to set up all these information. The basic setup is setup HCM, install, and then installation table. So here are the list of products that are available. So you can select whatever products that you want to use. So human resource, benefits, succession planning, time and labor, pension. So this is a demo instance, and that's why it's all the e-benefits, compensation, performance, everything is selected here. So if you don't want, one thing is like if you should have license for that particular things. So if you do not have license and you start using the product, then you'll be in some trouble there. Oracle will continuously monitor what are the usage that you're using it for your organization. So if you have particular license for that particular product, you can just go ahead and use it. And these are the various HCM defaults, product specific settings, country specific settings will be assigned here. All the IDs that are used last. So these are the last employee which we created 3. So last position number used, and all the last IDs will be mapped in here. So this is the installation table. So any changes you make here and you save it, you have to make sure. It's not recommended to make any change here, that is for sure. Like if you want to install any additional product or something, you can just select something, and then let's say I'm selecting this and clicking on save. It's going to give you a clear message. You must log off and log in back on all clients and application servers. So you have to bounce your application server and the entire. If any user is currently using it, then it's going to be a problem. So it's recommended to make these changes during the downtime. Okay. So this is a basic installation setting, and then we have country-specific installations. And talking about the foundation tables, you can go to setup HCM foundation table. So organization, this is where you define your business units, company, location. So let me take one of the delivered view. So global business unit. So as you see, every business unit is tied with a set ID. So there should be at least one set ID and one business unit in your organization. So if you want to restrict flows of data, and you can configure multiple business units based on your business requirements again. So here is where you configure your company setup. So companies represents an individual legal entity in your organization. So as you see, the company is tagged with a location, a default set ID again. So everything is set ID driven. So you can specify all your default settings for your company, like the currency code. So if it is this company, US dollar is the default currency, regulatory region is USA. You can define your default phone numbers, and these are the options available. So we have location setup. As you see, everything is tied to this common set IDs share. So just a brief, location address and the location profiles can be set up in this location setup. So yeah, these are the basic HRMS concepts which I thought of discussing in this introduction session. There are a lot of things to be discussed, so we will discuss everything in this upcoming session in detail. So we'll be starting right from the setup part, and then we'll learn how to set up different set IDs, different business units. We'll take an example and then take you forward. So I think here is where the set ID table set sharing is there. Table set IDs, which I was talking about. As you see, there are a lot of set IDs available. So here is where you create your new table set ID. The record group and the table set control, which I was saying. So as you see, this default set ID is mapped with all these record groups, and then each record group again will have tied to multiple HR records. So I'm looking for HR01. So this will be like so I'll go to record groups to show what are the records available in this. So these are the various records that are grouped under this record group and in turn tied to this set control ID. Okay, let's wrap up today's session. So in the upcoming session, we are going to see all these HRMS concepts in detail. So if you have any questions, you can just drop it now.